Summer will officially be upon us in about a month. And if you have cabin fever and are looking to get out this summer, well then Jeanenne Tornatore has a summer travel preview for you right now.
The combination of seasonal weather, pent-up demand, and continued widespread vaccinations all point to summer 2021 as the beginning of the comeback of travel. And early search and booking data indicate it's going to come back in a big way. Travel expert Jeanenne Tornatore is joining us today with details and advice that we need to know. Jeanenne, this is good news.
It's great news, and I think that, everyone is really looking and been waiting to get out and travel, and this is really going to be the summer when we, I think, see kind of a travel explosion. So, and, I want to say first, I'm coming to you actually from Colorado Springs. And one of the biggest things that we're seeing is that people are still looking for these outdoor destinations. Beach destinations and outdoor destinations are where most bookings are happening for summer travel. And places like Colorado, I think, really speak to why we're seeing so many people coming here. I'm at the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Museum that just opened this last year, a 60,000 square foot facility with just so many cool interactive exhibits here that celebrate our best athletes. I know you guys can appreciate that being in Park City with some of your Olympic things that you have going on there as well. But behind me here is Pikes Peak. They're reopening the highest cog railroad that takes you to the top this summer, where you can experience the brand new Summit Visitor Center atop there. In western Colorado, they're debuting the longest single track mountain bike trail in the U.S. They have new Via Ferrata climbing routes debuting in Arapahoe Basin. So many things happening here in this state for people to get out and experience. I know you guys can appreciate that being in an outdoor community as well, but it's really these types of things that are drawing travelers out west.
I grew up outside of Colorado Springs. I love it there. I've been to so many of those places. The train up Pikes Peak is incredible. What a great place to be right now, Jeanenne.
It is. It's such a great place, and I feel like I think you can just kind of feel, the excitement building for summer travel this year. I mean, it's going to be a busy one. The good news is, I think, for travelers is that we're seeing that suppliers and destinations are really ramping up for what's expected to be high demand this summer. We're even seeing airlines putting new routes into their schedules to some of these smaller mountain towns, places like Aspen, Crested Butte, Vail, Colorado, Jackson Hole, Wyoming, because they are expecting and they're seeing that more people are looking to these mountain town destinations. But also we're seeing that the airlines are adding more capacity to places like Orlando, the Caribbean, Latin America. These beach destinations are going to be the other kind of big hot spot this summer for travelers.
And what new attractions are out there that we should be excited about?
Well, I mentioned some of them right here in Colorado, but you'll also expect there's going to be new coasters opening at these theme parks around the country, particularly Universal, Disney, and Orlando. They have new attractions and new coasters that are highly anticipated. A lot of people have been waiting to hit those theme parks this year. So Orlando is going to be a top destination because of those. But I think that, when you look at these new museums that are opening, these new adventure experiences for people outdoors, that's really what I think is creating a lot of excitement for these people that are hitting the road and heading to the mountains.
How are destinations and travel suppliers planning for this high demand?
Sure. Well, like I said, so the airlines are definitely ramping up their capacity. They're adding hundreds of routes back to their schedules that they had pulled this last year due to lack of demand. So certainly I think that there's going to be a lot more choices the further we get into summer for travelers, even out of some of the smaller airports. When it comes to hotels, there's actually a lot of hotels that have opened around the country in the last year, and so there's going to be a lot more occupancy for people in these destinations. A lot of new boutique hotels to choose from that have kind of just been waiting to open and waiting for things to ramp back up. Now, I will say on the car rental side, that's where I think people really do need to plan. We talked about stories over spring break where these car rental companies have had to sell part of their fleets in the last year to stay in business, and so there's a lack of supply when it comes to rental cars. My biggest piece of advice for travelers who are heading out this summer is really to plan and book your travel now. As far in advance as possible for this summer is really going to be key. It's not going to be the year to wait for those last minute deals. I think we're only going to see prices continue to creep up the closer we get to the summer season.
And any other advice for us, and where can we get more information about all of these great things that you've discussed?
Sure. Well, I will say for a piece of advice is that, it's a little too soon to completely let your guard down. I mean, a lot of these cities and destinations are still in phased reopenings. A lot of the museums and attractions are still having limited capacity and requiring reservations. There's still protocols and restrictions in place when it comes to masks and social distancing. And it can vary widely depending on what destination you're going to. So make sure that you do your research before you go and be well aware of what all of those standards are for the destination you plan to visit. If you want more information, you can always check me out on my website, which is theoutsideinsider.com. You can follow me on Instagram at theoutsideinsider as well.
Well, thank you so much, Jeanenne Tornatore, for this great information about travel. Looking forward to getting out there, seeing all of these great places and new attractions in a safe way. Thankful for your time today.
My pleasure.